Computer. Good
Hi,
morning.
Norma.
How are you?
Good. How about you?
Good. Happy Tuesday. I'm finally in
Yeah.
Canada with
Oh,
mom,
nice.
but the
Oh,
weather is,
that's nice.
yeah, the weather hasn't been nice, but we're hoping that tomorrow we're going to start seeing some sun after 6 days of rain. I think we've had enough.
I know summer is kind of not showing up much, It's like spring or yeah, we're at about 20 degrees Celsius today, which is good. I like it because, it's to walk and to go outside. It's sunny, so it's nice.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
maybe that means that summer will continue until like October. Maybe we'll
Yeah.
have some nice weather in October.
Yes, but in October, I like, when everything
Fall.
starts getting orange. I really like the fall. I really like the coffees and all of that. And, now I just want to drink smoothies or something.
Yeah. I hear you. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
So we're talking about self-empowerment. Our theme this month was about
Yeah.
self-empowerment, self-development,
Yeah.
great articles from some contributors. I think we've, talked about that before,
Yeah.
Nene and Kristen, right?
Kristen,
Wrote
yeah.
some articles for us. Um, have
Yeah.
you started reading the book of the month?
I've
Discovering something
read it
greater.
a few times already.
Okay, so we
It's
have we have to keep that top of mind so that we can talk about
yes.
that and let our readers know to
Yes,
get.
exactly. And there's the workbook as well. So if you haven't downloaded that, if you haven't read the book yet, and I think the idea when it came out was like this is a kind of business blueprint or something, but it has helped so much in my personal life. And that's why I keep going back to it. Each time I open it, there's another aha moment for me. Yeah, and it's actually helped a lot in my life. Not only setting goals, but also the way I don't believe in a balanced life, like 50-50. That does not exist. And I just get all worked up when people say, yeah, well, it's 50-50. Well, it's not. It depends which season of life you're in, right? And it depends if you have small kids, if you are an empty nester, if you work outside the home, if you don't. So it's never 50-50. Even when, with my husband, like he helps at home, but it's never 50-50. Sometimes either 70 and sometimes I do 80, and that's just the way it is. But that's the balance we can find at that moment, right? And I think that yeah, that the book helped me a lot, especially in that area, which was the one area that I thought I was not going to enjoy because each time I see life balance, I start to equal over. So
But they say what you don't like is what you need in your life. It's
um
when you start feeling that anxiety, that's because
yeah.
that's an area of your life that you need to find more maybe balance in, or
Mm.
just.
No, it's just, no, yeah, maybe. Um, but I mean, meditation is not for everybody, or at least not the traditional meditation methods that we first heard about, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so it's for me, it's like the same thing. What works for you or for another person may not work for me, and what works for me might sound absolutely crazy to other people. But that's just, our way, or maybe it's even I'm still working on myself. I'm a work in progress. I do a lot of
We're all a work in
self-development.
progress, right?
Yeah, but I've been doing a lot of self-development stuff in my own life for a few years now. And maybe I haven't arrived at that level yet, that I'm wise and, I know best. And so I still don't find that comfort, let's say, in the more quiet. I need a lot of noise still around me, because again, I don't feel comfortable yet. And maybe that's why, for example, meditation is not yet working for me. I can do it for a short periods of time. I'm not consistent with it. And there was a moment I tried to force myself to do it, and it's just, I just got really anxious each time I
Yeah.
remember that I needed to do that. So I need
No,
to
and you
give
don't want to
myself
force yourself.
grace.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
shouldn't force yourself to do anything. And that's not, what I meant. It's like a lot of times we will not initiate something because we have a little bit of anxiety about it,
Yeah.
and we get in our minds, but
Mhm.
that's what we need. That's what our we're trying to mask it. We're trying to hide behind something that we don't want to
Mm.
do. But a lot of
Do
times
you
it's,
feel like that ever?
yeah, I'm trying to think of an example of, um yeah, it's not coming to me,
Mm.
but it's, I guess that's one of the things that I've always learned, is that when you're trying to push something away, it's because you don't want to deal with it, but it's what you need for your growth and your development.
Right.
You
Okay.
know, it's not like, um, I don't want to lift weights. I don't like to lift weights. It's more from a personal growth and development and a mindset perspective.
Mm. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I'll take it.
So yeah, so self-empowerment, and kind of what I wrote in our Facebook this morning about our topic today is really about self-development. Is about taking charge of your life, making those decisions and taking actions that reflect your values, your goals, your desires. It's empowering ourselves, right? And it's being aligned to what our core values are, and it's always coming back to our core values
Mm.
when we take action. um, does that resonate with you?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Um, Even when we can't take those steps that we want, those bold steps towards what we want, but just keeping it in our minds and knowing that for now we are in this container, and we're having a hard time getting out, as long as it's clear that what we want next. Because there's people are in very different stages of their lives. And I remember one time when I was like in that box and I could not get out. Um, and it was very hard for me. And that was just before I started on this journey of self discovery and development. But the self empowerment came a lot later than that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's true, we're all on a different journey. So the
Yeah.
journey that you're on is completely different than the journey that I'm on. And
Yeah.
a lot of times we look at the other person and be like, well, why can't I have that life? Or why can't, because that's not where we are right now. It's, we need to meet ourselves where we are today, where we are right now, and taking those actions and those steps, empowering ourselves to be able to move forward to reach that life that we want. And I guess I read something the other day about, where you're going to be in 12 years from now, right? It it could be totally different than where you are today, but you need to take action. You could either, and breaking down those 12 years to maybe 12 months, maybe 12 hours. And it's taking those little actions and those little steps to be a step closer to where you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, for me,
Everything can change.
yeah, I developed a 5-year plan about 6 years ago. And it's when I go back, and I was telling my neighbor the other day, I have a 5-year journal. As you know, the 5-year journal that I published on KDP. And what's interesting about it, I started it in 2019 and finished it in December of this year. And when I went back to look at where I was in 2019 and then 2021, 22, and 23, it's amazing how much my life has changed because I did take those little steps. But it was very interesting. And that's why I love, the 5-year journal, because it really allows you to go back and see where you were 2 years ago, 3 years ago on that date, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I created that 5-year plan. And she said to me, she goes, "So did you meet your 5-year goal?" And I said, essentially I did, because I was working a corporate life. I didn't like what I was doing, but it was the steps to get me to where I am today. And, along the way, I knew different doors that opened up for me to lead me to the path that I wanted to be on.
That's amazing. That's very good. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just think it's, self-empowerment is about ourselves. It's not about
Yeah.
you. It's not about your neighbor. It's about ourselves. And what can we do to empower ourselves to live the life of our dreams, the life that we want to be on?
Hmm.
Um, and we talk about the life of our dreams. What does the life of our dreams, mean?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's different for all of us.
Of course, yes. Very different, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like what you said yesterday when you were walking the beach,
Mm.
this was your dream to live on a beach where you can walk out and be right there by the water
Yeah.
and take your walks, every morning.
Yeah. And actually, it was last year in May. Yeah, May last year. So a year ago, I was living my little life and I was driving home from the supermarket, and I'd gone shopping, and then I went to the supermarket and I was coming home, and it just hit me. Oh my gosh, I'm living the life I dreamed of 3 years ago. How is that possible? My little sports car, on the beach, working for myself, um, doing another certification to do life coaching, and just being able to take care of my house, creating my days as I want. Because at the end of the day, that's freedom for me. That's being really wealthy. And it has a little bit to do with money, of course, but it has a lot to do with what your best life is for you. Because if I wanted to have a Ferrari, or have a really nice house on the island, I would be killing myself working on a job that I didn't like, but I would need to do that to be able to afford those things. So I'm really happy that those are not my goals. And yeah, so and I just, once you're in it, you just take it for granted. So
Yeah.
last year I realized that I was driving. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm leaving it. I had just come back from Ireland. We went to a Brian Adams concert over there. And and I'm thinking, this is my life. Is this my life? This is the life I wanted to have, not like going to Ireland, but to have my time, to be able to take care of my family and my house. That's very important to me. That's very, very important to me. And uh, be available, be here. My husband works for himself, so if one day he comes home one Thursday and says, hey, let's take, I'll take tomorrow off and let's go off somewhere, I can do that because my time is my own, you know and that, for me, I mean, there's not enough money in the world to pay that.
Yeah. And that
But
was your dream. That was,
yeah,
yeah, that's
yes,
what you
for
worked
me.
towards. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the Ferrari is not good for as a goal. It's amazing as a goal, especially if you're young and you can get into the thing and out, because to get in it goes, but to get out, oh gosh, I do not drive the little sports car anymore. So yeah, it's an amazing goal, but what are you willing to do? What are the steps you are willing to take to make that a reality, right?
Yeah.
And for me, I worked very hard for a very long time. But even when I was working very hard, I never, in my wildest dreams, thought I could be living this life, at least not yet. I
Yeah.
thought it would take me a long time. But you know what? I've also learned along the way that with self-development, self-empowerment, gratitude is a very, very big part of making things move along. I am so grateful for this life. I am so grateful for everything that I get to experience. I'm so grateful for the most and the littlest or smallest things that I have. And I sometimes think, could I be a minimalist? I'm not. I'm like a maximalist. I love stuff. I love things and colorful things and everything. But at the end of the day, I could live without most of them,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So that's where my happy place is I am very grateful that I have a lot of gadgets that make my life a lot simpler. But if I needed to, I could very well do without those things. And that's freeing,
Yeah.
and that gives me some kind of empowerment, if you will, because I know that, and if I need to go back to work, because I have no problem whatsoever in going back to work, going back to a job that I don't like, but I'm so grateful that I don't have to, and that I get to live this life today, not when, I'm very old or in retirement or
Yeah.
something.
No,
Yeah,
gratitude is very important.
very
It's
important.
because it allows us to be thankful for those little things that we have in our life, all the
Yeah,
way to the big things that we have in our life. I mean, I love our cottage here. I love that the house that we have, and never in my wildest dreams would I have ever thought. I mean, I'm Canadian. I was born Canadian. We moved to the States, and never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that we would have a house in Canada. However, I do remember saying to my aunt when we were visiting her in Montreal many years ago, probably over 30 years ago, that I see my roots coming back to Canada. And
there
my
you
both of
go.
my kids went to university in Canada, and I'm thankful. I'm so thankful for that because it gave them, them coming to university here gave them such an opportunity. I'm thankful that I have my house here, little cottage, um, and close to my
Yeah,
relatives. I'm only 3 hours away. So it gives you a sense of satisfaction, and I don't want to use the word empowerment, but I don't know, I do feel a sense of empowerment because I had the mindset and the gratitude for those little things along the way.
Yeah. And that's really what's important, is that we know at the end of the day, where to turn to our, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Because happiness breeds happiness, right?
I think so. Yeah.
It, I mean, if you're going to focus on being miserable and unhappy and, angry and all
Or
that,
just ungrateful for everything that you have, that you don't have, just like, why me? Well, why not? I mean,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, I completely agree. And I always keep going back to gratitude. For me, it's like my religion, actually. It's gratitude, gratitude all
Well,
day long.
isn't our challenge this month the gratitude challenge?
It is actually, yes.
I know we're working on next month and we have like a
Mhm.
little bit of gratitude. We're talking about relationships and talking about our gratitude in our relationships. So I think gratitude is extremely important in empowerment, in overall empowerment and feeling your sense of purpose and
Yeah.
it, the whole mindset. I think it comes
Yes,
down to
yes. I
mindset.
mean, yeah, mindsets. Again, for me, gratitude is very in line with mindset, because again, if you keep focusing on the negative, you're never going to get to a positive, right?
Right.
So yeah, so it's that mindset shift, and gratitude is going to do that for you. And it's so simple and so easy. It's almost just silly, um, but it works. And it's, for me, again, it's like a religion, because it's part of my day, many times a day. Like, some people meditate a few times a day, some people go for walks a few times a day. For me, it's getting back to that gratitude, especially because I still feel this. I feel these scarcity thoughts creeping in. So I immediately go back to my gratitude practices, to my affirmations, and to, yeah, that
Yeah.
absolutely changes my day.
And it's almost a sense of manifestation, manifesting, because
Well, I believe that whatever you put out in the world is coming back. So if you put out positivity, I mean, of
that's what you're
course,
going to get
some
back.
negative. Yeah, I mean, of course, there are negative. I mean, it's not always roses, but um, I believe that if you put out good, good's gonna come back.
That's
So
come
if
back.
you put out positivity, positivity is going to come back, even if there's a little bit of negativity in there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, yeah, but I don't know. For me, it's been very important, and I do not come from a background of positive people. I come from a background of very scarcity mindseted people, very dark people, very glass half empty people. So it was, I don't know, I think I always kind of went towards the light, towards the positive, but it it's not
But
because
that,
I was taught. It's just I went there naturally,
yeah,
right? And so once I learned that I could actually put it out there, I mean, I never looked back. But
yeah.
sometimes people would call me out and say, why are you singing? Do you think you have a great life? Well, I do actually.
Yeah. But that was, and I like that you said that because that was your journey of self-development and
Yes.
self-empowerment. You knew that you did not want to be that person with the glass half full, that you wanted to be happy, that
Empty.
you wanted that other, that other life of positivity. So that was
Yeah,
part of,
yeah,
how you worked in your self-development and you
yeah,
empowered
true.
yourself,
Yeah,
all those things.
yeah, yeah. I think it, and then once you know, there's no way you won't know, like you can
Yeah.
go back. So, so yes, I'm really just grateful, you know. I am. I'm a pretty grateful
Yeah.
person. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with
It's
you. I
annoying
have,
sometimes.
yeah. No, I have, same here. I have so much to be
Mm,
grateful for and appreciative, and you got to look at the positive of
yeah.
things.
Yeah, I think so. And
Yeah.
you have kids, grown ups. I have grown up children as well. And I mean, it really never crossed my mind to paint a very grayish life for themselves for them, I always painted like with a lot of color, and that, they can do anything and be anyone they want. And I think that's important. But again, they can if they work for it, right? If
Right.
they have that mindset, and you can only do so much. But I think it's important when we have children to really not limit that. And sometimes I would think, um, sometimes I would think before I spoke, not all the time, but I don't want to put my limitations on them,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, because I they were my children. I was sometimes scared for their future, or scared for, that they would get hurt if they didn't get that, or if they didn't. But at one moment you just have to think what's best, hey,
Yeah.
just
No,
just teach them that it's
absolutely.
possible, and then it's up to them to,
Yeah,
yeah,
you've given them the foundation.
yeah,
And
exactly.
mine are 27 and 24, and they're at the age where, they'll come to me and ask for my guidance or ask,
Yeah,
what would I do? But if they don't ask me, I know that they want to make their own decision,
exactly. Yes, yes,
you
yes, and
know.
it's good. I think it's, yeah, yeah.
And it's part of, empowering them to be able to make those
Exactly.
decisions.
Exactly.
I'm
Yes.
not living their life, they're living their life. They're the ones that have to deal with the consequence of the decisions that they make.
Exactly. Exactly.
So well, always a great conversation with you, Sarah.
With you as well, Norma. Thanks.
Well, please reach out to us. We'd love to see interaction within our Facebook group. You can find
Yeah.
us on TikTok, our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes,
And,
please
there's
do.
more content that we put on there. So, you know, let us
Yeah.
know. And if something specific you guys want us to talk about, let us know.
Yes, and don't hesitate to show up to these calls, because, we just want to have a great conversation with us, or with you, if you are available, and if you want to, and if you have questions to ask. We're here, and we'll do our best to just answer you, and show up for you as well. So thank you.
Very good. Well, have a good day.
You too. Bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
Sarah.
Bye.